Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we wanna go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You wanna be with DC and RA Minahan. The host can't see it's Mike and the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee, it's Mike and the Minifans.
Hey, how are ya? Welcome to Mike and the Minifans, the longest hour recorded broadcast history. I'm joined by my CEO, the boss man, Menners, where we're gonna have the Minifans have their shot to say who they want to be producer, what's on their mind. It should be a fun show. We might have a special guest dropping in. But Menners, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, BA. I'm just here to make sure you don't give Wagon the link to this show.
All right. I'm on probation, I guess.
Exactly.
Probation. Thank you. You're a great boss. You stood by me during a dark time, so I appreciate that. We have You Make Me Sick. How are you, Make Me Sick?
Wonderful, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
You kind of look like Einstein, but kind of a dumber version, I think. But so I think you're.
How the fuck do you look exactly like I thought you'd look?
Anybody on the planet's pretty much a dumber version of Einstein, so I'll take that as a compliment. So
you do look exactly like by listening to your show or seeing your AI scripts and all that stuff. You do look exactly how I would think you would look. So that is true.
Slightly twisted.
But it's been a crazy week. Like I was saying this earlier, I don't know if Menners didn't really agree. The Axe did, but the week started with Justin, Mick, and the Saudi gate. Tommy Quinlan drops out. It feels like this happened a month ago with all the extra stuff. Augustus is a crazy man. Montante gets called out. You got a new shiny toy in Coleman coming in. It's a wild thought. But so You Make Me Sick. Who would you like to endorse? What would you want to say?
So I'll kind of just quickly go over who I don't want to endorse and kind of give a quick reason why. We'll start with Coleman. He's the shiny new toy. Montante brought this up. Minifans were easily distracted. Somebody new in the studio. He's really too young though. He's 23. He almost seems entitled at times too. It doesn't mean he wouldn't be a good producer, but I think he doesn't really know the show that well. I know he's trying to catch up, but we'll see how he does on the second go around. But I just don't think he's going to cut the mustard.
So do you think? Oh, sorry. One of the things you said. Do you think that? So you're saying he's too young, but isn't this exactly what Kirk was looking for? A young, hungry guy.
Yeah,
like he's the youngest one by far. Go ahead.
That's what Kirk says he wants, but I think that I think Kirk wants somebody who's young, but also 23 is that generation. I don't know if they're going to have the work ethic if he's going to really, put in what needs to be done. And he's looking for somebody who's young but responsible. This guy, he still lives at home. I know he just lost his job at Barstool. The Barstool thing is it's kind of incestuous. I kind of would like Kirk to get somebody who's not a Barstool employee or wasn't a Barstool employee, just to kind of keep it original. So, like I said, it doesn't mean it couldn't work out. For me, he isn't for me, not right now.
This is a big call. So for people watching, the You Make Me Sick podcast is on the Kirk Minahan network. It's a fantastic show where Andy here, Andrew is the host here, puts some great information together. And, as host of a network show, you're out on Coleman after one show.
Yeah, but like I said,
wow.
I'll give them a second chance. But at the same time, I think we do this a lot where we have somebody comes on for their first, Kirk Minahan show appearance and they do great, or we think they do great. They come back, and after that second appearance, people are completely out on them.
Because you're no dummy, Andy. Like that's clear listening to your show. There's a lot of fucking idiots on this network with fucking pea brains, but you've got a functioning brain up there. So this is a big call.
I have
I try to be
just
objective.
another. I just have another little point. Don't you think there's an aspect to Coleman where he was fired by Portnoy, and if Kirk hires him, he's kind of like, "Oh, I hired a guy that Portnoy fired," giving some guy his job back. Do you think that comes into it at all in the decision making, or is that you don't
Yeah,
think
I
so?
mean, Portnoy's a trimming the fat, so he had to get rid of people that weren't really necessary. So Coleman was one of those guys, and he's just kind of out there now. I think that if he had been, Coleman been more significant, obviously, he'd still have the job at Barstool. But there were probably a lot of people like that. I don't think Portnoy even knows who Coleman is, so he probably wouldn't
No.
even realize it. So.
All right, so make me sick. Coleman makes you sick, I guess. We could
Yeah,
do a
not for
barf,
me.
barf, a more
And then
barf drop.
Josh next. Josh seems all right, but he also seems very apathetic. It might just be his demeanor. I think he's kind of like that about everything, but he doesn't seem overly enthusiastic about the opportunity. Once again, doesn't mean
Exactly.
he couldn't be a great producer, but at the same time, he also seems too normal. We need somebody who's a little bit stranger.
I
For
don't
me,
think
Josh.
I don't think Josh is a serious choice. Like the guy, I kind of agree with Menners on this. The guy, like, he's lazier than people are giving credit. He's a very lazy guy. Like he didn't even listen to the full episode of the show before he
Sure.
goes in. He doesn't remember the Miltons thing. He's kind of boring, and it's like I think his shtick would wear off, and he is too normal. But I think Josh is going to be an intern at best. Like I don't think he has. He's not going
Yeah,
to
and I mean,
be.
he could start as an intern and then perhaps move on from intern to, maybe he becomes a producer when whoever, Kirk hires next decides to quit or is fired. So
Yep. Okay, so Josh, out on Josh.
out on Josh. Mick, I actually like Mick because
No.
Mick has a talent. There's actually hidden value in somebody who can make people hate them that much. So that's something that it can be an attribute in the producer role. I don't know if it really would be or not. He might be a good number two, actually. According to Cullinane, he has the chops to do it, but talent-wise, he just makes too many people angry. What happens when he makes Kirk that angry? I mean, it could be good content for the show, but at the same time, production-wise, I don't know. So for right now, I think
from
Mick.
your scientific background, Andy,
Sure.
I hope you don't mind if I call you Andy, by the way.
No, go for
do
it.
you think Mick? Justin alleges that Mick is delusional. Mick is a schizophrenic. I mean, as I said, what's your diagnosis?
Oh,
I
you
don't.
look like
I
a
would.
troll doll from the chat. Nicholas Boyle said you look like a troll doll.
Yeah, I could say I do. What am I going to say? I don't think Mick is delusional or schizophrenic. I just think he's probably attention seeking. I think he's one of those guys that's going to push buttons and do what he has to, and he does a good job of it. He knows how to do it. I mean, obviously, we're talking about him right now. So at the same time, I don't know, the whole lying, the breaking his own window, all that stuff. That's I think that's just somebody who's looking for attention. Maybe he doesn't get it from his girlfriend. I have no idea, but it's who knows, But for me, Mick's a no-go.
I think he does.
Yeah, Mick. By the end of the Friday show, Mick was the de facto number one in the rankings. So I think, yeah, Mick, hateable guy, but I think if he got the job, his tenure would be short. I think it would be very short. But
but I don't know the leash Kirk would give him.
Yeah, and I think he really I don't think he's as big of a fan as he leads on to be. He didn't know the Miltons locations.
I think though, I've got to just jump in for Mickey. I don't think he didn't know the Milton location. I think he just had a mind blank, where you freeze in the moment. Like I think most times he'd get that right. I just think he got put on the spot. He froze up.
But also, he is the lying aspect is it's not like a funny Steve Robinson lie like they brought up. It was like it's a clear lie and you're defending it with the pictures, the Saudis, all that stuff. There's also I don't know. I just think he will burn out fast. I think he would burn out fast.
He definitely could be. I mean, it's if you're willing to destroy your own property to make up a lie, like what's next, So
yeah.
Who knows?
All right, who's next in the candidates?
All right, so that leaves us with two. So that's either Augustus or Montante. I like
Yes.
Montante. Montante, I think he cares about the show. He's, he listens to the show. He's involved. Obviously, he's on the network. Well, kind of on the network. He's on shows on the network.
Mm.
But with
Manners to
Montante, I think
Watertown.
he's a better third chair, I think, than he is an actual producer. I mean, obviously, his producing skills are dog shit. So I think we've seen that firsthand. And I don't think that's something that I know Kirk says he doesn't care that much about it. But when Cullinane's gone and you only have one or two people back there who actually need to know what they're doing, if they don't know what they're doing and something doesn't get done or the show doesn't get posted or there's audio issues, it's going to be an issue. So I think that, Montante, definitely, like I said, great as a guest. The fact he's in New Jersey too, I know he said he has a plan, he has storage lockers, all that stuff that he's going to move. But will he actually follow through with that? Is he still going to commute back and forth? I mean, too many variables there.
I think with Montante, so he was questioned. What is he? He's not talking about the show. He's tweeting about college football. He's not engaged in the show at all. But as soon as he gets that criticism, he puts out Montante's World. He goes on Minifandom. He starts doing stuff. So I think he's a guy that could take constructive criticism and improve from that. So I wanted to give him some credit there. But him saying that Ironhead will be his de facto consultant, I don't think it was the best move. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I agree. He could be theoretically a number two if you had somebody who knew the production side of it. But I also wonder with that 1 and 2, like, is Kirk going to take Cullinane's salary, cut it in half, give one half to one person, one half to the other person? Is it going to be somebody works less and gets paid less? I don't know. It's interesting to see how he does that as well.
So are you? So
you're an Augustus guy.
You're Augustus.
So I am an Andrew Augustus guy. He is my dude.
Wow, we got there.
He shows initiative. The Milton thing, I think he was, he completely made up for that. The hands and knees. The airport thing, who cares? I think that was way overblown. He's actually probably just trying to get content for the show, even though he's technically not part of the show yet. He's got charisma. Most of all, he's just really weird. And I think the show needs that. This Robinson was weird. Cullinane's weird. Like, it's good to have a weird producer. His drinking seat, like, what the fuck was that? Like, just strange stuff like that. I mean, the kids had brain trauma, so maybe that's part of it. But at the same time, I think of everybody who's out there right now just in the running for it. Like, Augustus is the guy that I want to see in that seat, at least, as a number one. And like I said, if Kirk's going to have two of them, and Mick could be that guy, Montante could be that guy, one of those others, Josh or, what the hell's that? What's that? Yeah, Coleman. Coleman could be the other guy too.
I think
we'll see who else. Is John Strand coming in?
Sorry. Well, the thing about John from Screen, and I told him this from the beginning, is he keeps on saying, like, "Oh, if they reach out to me, I'll go in," and it's like they're obviously not going to reach out to. Kirk said the same. I think he would have a legit shot, but I don't think he would be the best on air. He would be good at social media and all that stuff. But just on Augustus,
they probably need one of those guys too.
Just on Augustus, annoying Augustus. I think annoying Augustus will stick. Like, if you're Trump, that's what you would. If you're a Trump and you're debating him, that would be his nickname. Annoying Augustus, we call him. I don't know. I like him and I think I see what he has, but I could see him being super, super annoying to Kirk, to everyone. And I don't know. I think that might hurt him. I don't know. What do you think, Menners?
Yeah, he's very annoying. He's absolutely annoying. All right, let's bring in our next Minifan.
All right, sick. Thank you.
So we've got
much.
Ron. Hey, Ron.
What's up, guys?
I didn't get. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for jumping
welcome.
on.
Thank you.
Everyone should check
No
out.
problem, guys. Thank you.
Everyone should check out. You Make Me Sick on the network.
The axe.
So the axe last week was asleep and just let everybody else take over the show, and then fucking chops Andrew's head off.
So
anyway,
Ron, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
You're a great guy. Cornhole winner, I think. The cornhole winner.
Yeah, we're past that though.
That's
we're
okay.
on to
humble Ron, they call him. So what?
We're on to the producer.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours. What do you think?
So I want to start with
attitude.
Montante.
I like it.
Yeah. Hey, Menners, nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
So Montante, I like Montante a lot. I just think he needs to tighten the fuck up. Like, he is not come prepared at all with anything, but he's great on the show. Like, we all like him on the show, but he's not shown like any capability, and he lives fucking in New Jersey. So it's like, how is he going to come? Like Kirk can't picture himself like uprooting his life to come here and then spew his fucking stupidity with no ideas or anything. So I don't know. I'm questioning Montante at all. You know what I mean?
So you're down on Montante, it seems.
I'm a little bit down on Montante, and I like him a lot too. Like I think he's great on the show. Like Mutt said, like I think he's better as a third chair than he is as a producer. You know, I think everyone said that.
Yeah, it's just tough because the technical side of it seems really daunting, but I feel like he could fit. I still feel like it can't be rocket science. And if
You're right, I agree. I totally agree with that.
If you get like he said, I like this idea of having the intern show or the intern hiring show kind of on the network or on the YouTube or on it as a YouTube thing. That's a great idea. And I think he would be able to build the team around them. I think Montante's a good guy. He would check in, call them once, twice a day, you know? So I think the technical side, he would be able to get past like the learning curve a little bit faster than people are giving credit. But go ahead, Ron.
Right. That doesn't bother me at all. I totally agree with that. I think that's easily adaptable. I think that he's going to just make so many fuck ups that's going to drive Kirk crazy. And, you know, coming from Steve and then to Dave's a dummy. And then, you know, Montante.
Oh, Todd is saying Montante is great on the show, in quotes, is an urban legend. Interesting. Todd in the chat is saying Montante is great on the show. It's a legend. He doesn't agree.
Oh, no. Well, everyone agree to disagree. Anyway. Yeah, but yeah.
Ronald.
So do I think Montante is going to fucking pay his debt and uproot his life and go to Boston? I think that's pretty unlikely. I'd be all for it though. So
okay.
He is dead set certain that he would do it. He says his debt's paid off, the house would be leased out, and it would happen. So he's in no doubt that he can move.
And you know what? He's not a bullshitter. Like I don't think he's a bullshitter. Like I think if he would
really? I disagree with that.
I don't think he's a bullshitter in the sense that he would be like, oh, I could move. I've already did this, and this. I think if it was more of an issue, you would see it. He wouldn't be able to lie about it. But I don't. That's my take. But
yeah, I like Montante too. I think he's great on the show. I you know, if you were the next producer, I think it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. I just don't see it. Okay. So let's move on to next guy. I got Augustus. I like Augustus a lot.
Wow, 2 from 2.
Yeah, he's fiery and he's quirky, which I think are two good things, but he's not the brightest bulb. I know Dave is the biggest dummy ever, but I don't know.
Well, Ron, who do you think's dumber, Cullinane or Augustus?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think Augustus.
You think Augustus is dumber than Cullinane?
It's so insulting.
I like Augustus a lot too.
But that almost like being dumber than Cullinane is almost a good quality. Like the dumbness. I think the dumber you are, it's almost better for you. And there's like dumb self-aware is there's a combination of the both. But
I agree with that. But you know, like the self-awareness, like you know. And just texting John Rich that weird thing about Rico is very bizarre. I think he's just like super paranoid because he's so in like the Minifan world that like he thinks that like everything's around him, which I understand to a degree, but like I don't know. You gotta reel it back, kind of like.
Well, the thing with Augustus is, and I guess it could work for his advantage or not. He will be 24/7 Kirk Minifan show. Like you could see that already. Yeah. He's 24/7 Kirk Minifan show. But in the same token, texting John Rich 5:30 in the morning about this bit with Rico, and then Kirk alluded to it on the Friday show that he messaged them something privately and then exposed it later.
Yeah, what was that about? Yeah, that was very bizarre.
I don't know. I was trying to. It has to do with Rico, but they didn't really give much out. So,
you think so?
Well, they kind of alluded to it. It has to do with the John Rich texts, but there was another layer that they weren't saying. But it's.
Do you think it was that Augustus tagged his wife in a post? Like I saw
don't
that.
know.
Like,
Oh,
I think it was
could
like,
be.
can we not
maybe.
involve my wife in any content? And then he
And then
tweeted
he-
out, tagged her
Oh,
in it.
Augustus' wife or Rico's wife?
Augustus' wife.
Augustus' wife.
Oh,
Oh, that
maybe.
could be it. That could be it.
Yeah,
That's a good
Yeah.
point. But I
which
think
is
Augustus,
understandable. Like, I don't care about that. Yeah.
No, but I
But
was
he-
surprised Augustus tagged his own wife in a tweet.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
not that the Minifans will do anything, but if you don't want it to become part of content, then you wouldn't sort of tag her in
Yeah.
it, would you?
Steven
Right.
says,
Exactly. That's a weird instinct.
Steven says AA is a super Minifan and show Historia, not a producer, lacks instincts and communication skills. And I think those are the two. I agree with Steven here. The instincts, like I don't think he will be able to play a good drop on the show. I think the drops, Coleman tried to do it. I don't think Augustus will ever have those instincts, unfortunately. And his communication skills, like I think will get him in trouble. Being the face, he's almost the face of.
But he's learning. He is learning.
Show brand. But yeah, he is, and he'll work hard. But he's a hard worker,
Yeah.
so he has a lot of good qualities. But
Okay, so Ron, you've got Augustus ahead of Montante next.
Yep. Next we got Mick. Down on Mick, obviously.
Down on Mick.
I don't like Mick. I don't like him. I think he's toxic to Kirk in general for his mental health.
Wow.
He's just such a wild card. Like he's okay on the show, but the whole lying thing, that was a little much. He's brought stuff to the table that's been interesting, but I just don't see him being a full-time producer. I think it would drive Kirk insane, and we all don't want to see a fucking another mental health break. So that's all I got from Mick, really.
Okay, I think Mick would break before Kirk, actually.
You think?
Yeah.
yeah. I think Mick would if he gets hired, I would give over under 3 months before he's gone.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just not. It's not
hanging
realistic.
himself from a tree somewhere or something.
Yeah, it's not realistic at all. And then we could just skip right to Josh. I mean, this is another quick one. Get the fuck out of here, Josh. Sorry,
Yes.
dude.
I agree.
Dude.
Josh is the worst. He's lazy. Josh is lazy. He's a lazy guy.
Doesn't even listen to the
He's a
fucking
bad
show.
dude.
Are you fucking
Bad
kidding
dude.
me?
Like he doesn't
Yeah.
like he didn't listen to the show before he go. Like he's not a fan of Kirk. He's obviously using this as some kind of. He's using this as something, a stepping stone. Or
He
something.
wants
He's
to
not a
meet
fan.
Jared Carabas. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
Probably, yeah.
When
Get his
Kirk asked
autograph
when
himself,
when Kirk asked him like, "What do you like about the show?" He's like, I like that you don't stick to sport, or you talk not about sports or something." And it's like he never.
The only way
sports.
Kirk. Yeah, I know they talk about sports in an ironic way. Like, are you that dumb?
He
And it's
doesn't
like,
listen at all. He knows nothing.
Not knowing the fucking Milton's read. Like, get the fuck out of here. No, he's not a candidate. Anyway, all right. So
Next.
move on to Coleman. I like Coleman a lot.
Okay.
For me, it's between Coleman and Augustus.
Wow.
And if I had my druthers, it would be John Rich, to be honest. But Coleman's a good second choice for that. I think it's a dog race between Coleman and Augustus.
I really liked Coleman's like instincts, like I thought.
Me too.
I thought he kept the show moving, and I like that he's going to be trying to do drops, and I think he'll figure it out. And some
Me
of them
too.
are pretty good. I think he just has he should be on Minifan or Mike of the Minifans next week, but I think he has to just figure out. Kirk doesn't like hearing his own voice in the drops, and to try to.
100%.
So, but that's just learning the show. Coleman came in the most prepared as producer bar relevant games as all Dan Hammer says. So, but Ron, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's I totally agree with you said. When he had like Kirk's voice in the drops, it was very cringy, but he can clean that up very quickly. He came in prepared. He has experience. He knows the Barstool world. And he's willing to move to Boston tomorrow. That's
hungry,
huge.
Young and hungry. I think that's.
Yeah. You mentioned the young thing being a detriment. I don't think it is at all. I mean, he's single, like whatever. Like he can just dedicate his life to the show, and I think that's huge. And it seems like he's got a fucking sell on his brand, so that's good. So for me, it's between him and Augustus.
And I think Coleman. So I talked about this last week, where Steve said none of the producers have a disgust for the Minifans like Steve does, and I think Coleman and Montante are the only, and Mick, I guess they're all getting there. But Coleman, when he cut off that boring guy, being like, okay, wrap this up or whatever. I forget what the guy's name is. He's talking this
Will.
long-winded story, Will, and he's
yeah.
like, all right, let's move
I love
past this
that.
like that. Like I like that,
That
and I
fucking
think
poor bastard.
I think Coleman he'll be a guy that he'll have a nice level of disgust for the Minifans. I think you need as a producer, because I don't think you could be too buddy with them, with everyone.
That's
I think
instinct.
you have,
That's instinct.
yeah,
Which I love. And Steve had that perfect. So
yeah.
we'll see. But
Steve was a little bit too extreme, because he was almost like, I think he was starting to like I think the Minifans got to him, and he's like doing doxing, and Menners knows all about that. Coleman drops were too quiet, but that can be fixed. When he when he redirected the Drip Will's plea from his ex back to Guy Tuck, that was amazing. I agree.
he'll fix that. It was his first fucking time. Give the guy a break.
Do you think that's is a Cullinane kind of issue? Like the drops should be he shouldn't
Probably. I think Cullinane knew the drops and just wanted to let him do his thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a learning curve, you know.
I was just going to say, you were saying about not liking the Minifans. Well, Montante made some disturbing comments on Minifandom last night about the Minifans. So I think he's not far away from really despising the Minifans.
Yeah, Montante will despise people quick. He'll despise people very quick.
Even on his fucking 20-person chat with his daily phone calls. I don't know. I mean,
he'll have guys that he likes, but then he'll start to, and then I think
the pack mentality will drive him mad.
Yeah, and then Menners and I, we're buddies with Montante, but then we do these wrap-up shows or whatever. We're gonna definitely be critical at him at some point, and I don't know how that will go with him if he's like, "Oh, why are you guys talking shit?" Like I could see him getting a little sensitive about that, but
yeah, I can see that too.
I'm going to bring in our next Minifan.
All right, Ron. Thank you so much.
So, Ron, thank you for joining us. Would love to have you back on Mike and the Minifans. You did a great job, so take care. All right, so Dante, welcome.
Good to see you.
The Mr. Axe, I think.
Yeah, that's my title officially. So,
do you ever get Axe like at home? The Axe just like says, "Dante, you're out of here, Dante."
He's probably about to do that.
All right, Dante, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. I mean, you hit on most of the things I wanted to mention.
Oh, did the Axe Dante?
What did you do?
I don't know. She's probably trying to axe me.
Did she kick you out? Did she kick you out of the house and send you to the car?
No, I just went out here anyway.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyway, you were talking about Mick. The one thing that really bothered me was that whole lie that he created a whole lie just for entertainment value and for content. There's no way Kirk's gonna like that. That seems like an instant you're out. I don't know.
I agree. I think that hurts him in the long run, because Kirk brought it up too. He's like, how can I trust anything now if you're willing to lie about this and like go on with this? Like it was clearly bullshit, the trees and all that stuff.
Right.
But to go on with it for so long is wild. So
I actually thought he was pretty good on Minifandom, and I thought maybe he knew how to tone it down a little bit, but clearly that's not the case. Sorry, Mick. I liked Coleman. I thought Coleman was really good, but I mean, we don't really know if he has a thick skin yet, right? Like, I mean, can he go through? Did she already ask me?
No, Coleman. Mike says Coleman's not only the best choice, he's head and shoulders above everyone else. That's Mike in the chat.
Wow.
But I don't know if he can go through something like what Steve went through with the death of Steve Robinson. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think it's too early to tell with Coleman, but I think he had some.
That's a very good point, Dante, because Kirk was very nice to him, but
super nice.
You know, Montante, Gus, Mick, they've all had the blowtorch on them from Kirk before, and they've all stuck around. Like, yeah, what if Coleman gets hammered one day and turns up hungover and unprepared for a show, and Kirk fucking airs him out? How's he going to take it?
Yeah, and I'm a big Montante fan. So
Oh,
it's
so you're
hard.
Montante. You're thinking Montante's your guy?
Well, here's the thing though.
Interesting.
I know one guy who can already do the job. Biggest fan, longtime fan, knows the show, has the skills, already produces all of the Minifan content, almost all of it. Sorry, Axe. I'm thinking John.
Yes, but so I think John could have a shot, but how about John not reaching out and saying like they need to
Yeah.
reach out to him? I think that because that makes it seem like Kirk's clear that it's Kirk's show, it's Kirk makes it seem like John's this big shot where it's like he produces Quantum Kirk and fucking and Menner's Live, you know. It's like he's not this. I think he needs to reach, and I've told him this. You need to reach out if you really want a shot, because I think they would definitely give you one, you know. But
Yeah, and the 100,000, I'm not so sure that, you know, with Barstool cutting money, that unless Kirk wants to pay for it himself, and I don't think 100,000 is probably what he's looking for, especially when he can get Mick for $10.
yeah, Menner's like that one, Dante. All right, so you're
I'm going John from Scranton.
John from Scranton. So we got 2 Augustus.
So he hasn't even been in yet, Dante. Like it's very strange.
But he has all the qualifications. There's things like
I'm just saying it's hard to endorse him. He hasn't been in with Kirk yet.
Right, I know his V score might be down, but I mean, you think about it, this guy can actually put a show together. Like he can put together a production, which is something that we saw that Cullinane, couldn't really do last show. So I don't know. In the merch is kind of shitty at this point. So I'd like to see those things on the show, but I don't know. And he's a pretty good character, so I think he probably would vibe okay with Kirk. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah, I think if he goes in, he would have a serious shot, and if he does it, he would have a serious shot. But he texted me once. Maybe I should man up and actually ask, but then I don't think he ever did.
The thing is, though, there's one obstacle: is Kirk hates smokers, and you know, Kirk's going to rock up and see John from Scranton on the outside the building lighting up. Jesus Christ!
Got axed again.
He's going to rock up and see John from Scranton sucking on durries. I don't know if you call them, ciggies, and just like, okay, he'll never want to see him again.
I thought you called them Tony Cassis.
Okay,
all right, go ahead.
What about, didn't Kirk kind of berate Blind Mike about smoking weed back like years ago? And I mean, Augustus obviously loves his THC gummies, right? So
no, I just think it's more about like he hates cigarettes.
Yeah,
and John's a big smoker.
John's a chain, like John smokes inside.
Oh,
so that could be a bit of a stumbling block.
And the funny thing is that what the productions that John has done are like what Mike and the Minifans, Mansell Intel, the YouTube shows. I guess he has experience in his job now doing live stuff. So I think he would be I think he would be really good technically, and I think his promotional skills and merch skills will be good. But I think I would like to see how he is on the show, because if he could rein it in and not fight the urge to talk so much, I think he would do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's my endorsement is for John, but he's got to show up. Otherwise, Montante.
Okay, so he's your number one. Who's your number 2, Montante or Augustus?
Yeah, Montante for sure. I mean, but I just like him. I think he's a good guy, and I think he'll be great on the show. You can't create such a V value, as Mike says.
This is a great point by Nicholas. He's saying, I'm surprised none of the candidates hadn't had any merch ideas yet, because that could have been something. Oh, I have this merch idea. That's actually true. No one's come in with any merch ideas, and I think we talked about it earlier. Like, what would you do? And all of them have said merch, but none of them have actually done anything. That's a good point by Nicholas. Nicholas. So. All right, Dante. So any other thoughts? I don't even know if we have anyone else in here, but any thoughts?
No, that's pretty much it. No, sorry, I thought Josh was a little boring.
What was that?
Josh was boring, he said.
Yeah, terrible.
All right.
I think it's clear that
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I think it's clear that the Josh, I even think like the Josh stick is getting. It's like the guy. I don't know. I don't think I don't even find him. I think it's a fake candidate.
Oh, I wanted to say, I think you're right about Augustus when they were talking about that whatever they were saying but wouldn't actually say. I thought the same thing. I think it was that tweet about his wife. It makes
So it
sense
was
to
the
me.
one.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
think.
And I like Gus, by the way, but I don't know. I think his stick could get old. So
Wow. All right. Do we have
All
anyone
right,
else?
Johnson,
Sorry, Dante. Thank you so much. Do we have
you
anyone
go and
else?
look
or
after
no?
those kids.
Oh,
We just got Ron here. We got Ron in the
Alright.
back.
Hey, what's up?
oh,
guys?
might as well. Maybe we'll just do the rest of the show with Ron. If anyone else comes in, just put him in. But I think Ron had the best performance so far. How about what do you think?
So Ron, tell us when did you start listening to KMS?
Since the start.
Right.
Yeah, I was a Barstool fan first. Obviously, you listen to Kirk and Callahan and stuff. I love Kirk, but
What was
the
your
radio's
like?
the radio. What?
Sorry.
Oh,
you were a Kirk and Callahan fan first. You said.
Yeah, loosely, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't listen like fucking every day because of the commercials and shit. I was always like kind of a Barstool, first. But
Actually, Menners, that I wanted you to talk about the top 50 committee, the top 50
Oh,
committee,
yes.
because you were part of it. How was it? I heard it was a shit show.
It was tough because Tim and Canton hadn't put his list together. He'd just written Kirk 49 times and then Steve 50. So only Augustus and Mayo had put their top 50s together. And then, fucking Mayo is such an annoying prick. Like, me and Augustus spend all this time working out the criteria for the top 50. We tweet it out, it's in the group. And then Mayo comes in with his own stupid ideas about, influence on Kirk and therefore that influencing the show, which has got nothing to do with the Minifan top 50. So it was kind of frustrating. They had an initial meeting. I tweeted out some clips. They had a bit of an argument about Bruce Springsteen and a bit of an argument about who's 2 or 3, Steve or Blind Mike. I'm going to ask you this. I think it's undisputed Blind Mike is number 2. Like, you cannot put Steve above him. Anyone that thinks that is fucking insane. Blind Mike has been there from Ron. If you're going to say Steve above him, I'm going to fucking kick you out.
I have one.
I'm on your
one
side,
dispute.
Manners. I'm on your side.
One
Manners.
dispute, Manners.
Blind Mike number 2.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ron.
I love Steve being number 2 in everything. A hot dog eating contest, the cornhole thing, the Minifan thing. He could just be number 2 forever.
I thought we moved past
second place,
cornhole.
Steve. No, he's second place, Steve, forever. And I love
He just
Steve.
does not deserve it on this list. I mean, I don't even think he deserves to be 3. I'd have Cullinane 3,
No.
Steve 4, maybe. But like, Blind Mike has
But
been
you
there
just
since the
hate you just hate Steve though, because
The
he's
Blind
like
He just
Blind
hates
Mike
Steve
is-
is
Steve. That's it.
Steve is top 3 for sure. Like, he is top 3. That's undeniable. But
maybe
Blind
3 then. I'll concede 3.
Hold on,
Blind-
Manners. Wait. Did you like Steve on the show the other day, or were you just like angrily listening?
I didn't mind him. He was okay. Yeah.
I thought it was great.
So
I don't know. I loved
I've
it.
said this. I've said this from the beginning. Like, I just wanted him out of the job because he wasn't right for the show. So since he's gone, I've sort of lost a lot of the anger. But I just think Blind Mike's been there the whole time. The show is Kirk,
Kind of.
Blind Mike, and the producer. That is the quintessential show now. Mike, contributes a ton, and he's absolutely number 2. And I think it would be insulting for that, big fat Italian bitch if he was number 3.
Can I bring up one more thing too?
Yeah, go ahead,
I have an
Ron.
idea. What about Justin filling in as like a second type of Blind Mike and having him in once a week?
Justin would be terrible. Like, Justin,
No?
I
Really?
I don't know. I think Justin's best when they're making fun of him. Like, I think Blind Mike actually makes funny comments. I think Justin's best
I love Justin. He
Yeah?
makes me laugh. Yeah, I
You're
think he's pretty
laughing
good in
at
there.
him, not with him. Isn't that like? Which is not a criticism, but I feel like you're laughing at Justin, whereas Blind Mike, you're laughing with him. Like, Blind Mike makes good comments. He has.
But isn't there quality in both of that though?
No, for real, that's true. That's very true.
I
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
Ron. I think Justin once a month would be good. I think Montante once a month would be good. I think
Yeah.
Mayo once a month would be good. Like I think there's people that have shown when they've been in there, they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like like
But
there's some people you
like
don't want back.
once a month, I think. But like having him in once a week or something, I don't like. I think Blind Mike has the best. Like Blind Mike has the best chemistry with Kirk out of anyone.
Well, that's because he's been there 100,000 times. I mean,
That's true.
You know, you just got to give other guys reps too. You know, like Justin knows the show, you know, back and forth, and he's you know, he'll die for Kirk.
Justin was good on,
but he'll die for him.
Justin was good on Monday, ripping Mick. Yeah, it's funny. I remember on the Yak, they were talking about like the Jersey Jerry Army Rico Riders and the Minifans, and then Little Sass goes.
I was listening to that.
Sass goes, "Oh, Kirk's top 5 guys would murder for him," and like you think Justin would definitely murder for Kirk, like without a question.
He's top of the list, dude. Fuck yeah. But he's actually not at the same time, which makes him funny. Yeah. You know.
I also did you guys watch the trivia? Kirk versus.
Can I just go back to the Minifan top 50 quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because so we're meeting again, and then we're going to do 5 shows over 5 nights, going 10 at a time. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a huge event. But just a little bit of a window into it. Augustus is a little bit annoying. Like, I can see him kind of getting under Kirk's skin. Like, you know, I think everyone will, but there is something to annoying Augustus, even in back channels.
I think annoying Augustus is like that's his work. That's gonna lose him the job because no one wants to deal with an annoying person all the time. Like you know, like no one. I wouldn't say Kirk says any of those guys are annoying, like Cullinane or Steve. Like Cullinane probably is lazy, but he's not annoying, right? But
and I will say one person had sneakers in their top 10. I won't say who, but someone had sneakers in their top 10.
Mayo, it had to be Mayo. Oh, I guess you're not saying, but
I'm not saying.
I think sneakers. I think it for Minifans, like the actual fans, it goes Tim and Canton, sneakers, and Menners. I think you 3 should be in the top 50.
Whoa.
You can add May. I think because I think contributing to the show, you guys have like Tim, obviously the biggest contributor caller. Menners has had a lot of storylines about him. Sneakers has had a lot of story like. Whenever Kirk talks about those 14 fans or that hate us, like he's always referring to sneakers there. So I think in the history of the show,
JJ's name. This bullshit. Don't put this hate on JJ's name.
No, but JJ I don't count as a Minifan, but because JJ would be a part of the caller like community.
Yeah. He's a goofball.
We're like I think like Menners, sneakers, and Tim and Canton are my top 3. Steve from Providence.
Kevin from Bristol, dude.
So interesting. Tomorrow night on the network, I'm releasing the Quantum Kirk, and they review the original Minifan Hall of Fame episode. So that's interesting listening to that now because there's obviously a few names that were big 2 years ago that we might have forgotten about.
Yeah, so Steve from Providence, I think, is in there, but he fell off. Kevin from Bristol too. Again, they've kind of fallen off where. Sneakers, Menners, Tim, and Cannon have been around for the full 5 years, I think. So
I miss Steve from Providence. He's been a fucking nothing. He was one of the best callers. Yeah. Come back, brother, if you hear me.
A lot of people not happy with the sneakers comments, but I think he's in there. But I don't know what. Did you guys watch? Sneakers is way above people like JJ, but tied around people like DJT. Who's that?
DJK, I think.
DJK, I think.
He's not in there.
DJK can't be in there. Like
no.
You could say hate sneakers all you want, but he has been a part of the storylines of the show from the beginning. So that's where, and he's kind of an enemy too. Like he was an enemy. He went in studio. I don't know. He's at least top 5, I think, out of the Minifans. Sneakers
was he supposed to be on tonight? By the way, he was in the chat.
He was supposed to come on. We got a lot of people dropping.
Sneakers, I'm disappointed in you. You're my friend.
Yeah,
come on, man.
So
be better.
Did you guys watch MHB is top 3? See again, MH. this is what I think. MHB, I think, is in the top 50 because I think he was really important at the beginning. But if you're going away for 2 years, how can you really be a top
three?
Top three out of the Minifans?
I'm not even sure he makes the top 50.
Yeah, he's lucky to be top 50.
He's in the conversation, but he might miss out.
For me, he's in like the 40 to 50 range at best. But he probably fits into that 50 to 75. Like
because he dropped off very quickly once the show started. Like within a few months of KMS starting, he was gone. Whereas DEC hung around like a bad smell for a couple of years before Kirk finally killed him.
Yeah, MHB is in like the Benetton category. Like, do we put you in the top 50 or no? Like, I don't think so. And DEC, I just despise, loathe.
Donald J. Trump. I think Trump's
he's got to be in there.
I think DEC. I think Trump's a top caller. I
think Trump is the top caller.
Has to be top,
right?
I kind of hate the callers though. Like the one.
I'm saying the top callers.
Yeah, no, Trump for sure. The one that called in this week where he was, they called about the controlled grass burning. The controlled grass burning, that was good. Like they do.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Do you think that was Trump? I thought it might have been.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like there's definitely some people that like call with multiple things. But did you guys watch the trivia? Kirk versus Will Compton.
Yep.
No manners. So in the trivia, they said there was this talk like they had to play it twice because it was originally erased. And I was hearing that it got originally erased because Will Compton made fun of Jeff D. Lowe's haircut.
No, that can't be true.
I don't know. That was what sources were.
That cannot be true. I'm very confused about that. BA. I thought Kirk just like beat him down so bad that Kirk was like giving him a sympathy other game. But there had to have been something because they taped it. So like why would they have to do it again?
I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it was a Jeff.
Make fun of his hair?
It was a Jeff D. Lowe sabotage job.
Care about that?
He gets sensitive about his haircut. So I hear it was a Jeff D. Lowe sabotage job.
That's not his kids. It's his hair. Who cares?
I don't know. It's not me. It's Jeff.
Not his hair.
I'm excited with golf. The Nate and Gay Pat episode. It was
stinker.
A stinker.
Yeah,
like Nate is such a little weasel. Like he goes in and then he's like, oh yeah, Kirk, you know what? You're right. All this stuff, and it's like, I don't know. I hate Nate. He's such a weasel. I don't know. What did you think, Manners?
Oh, it was a bad episode. And it's funny, Kirk was just trying to drag an hour out of these fucking drips, and they couldn't even do that. I mean, they were so bad. I thought John Rich was fine. I thought he was pretty good, even though his microphone was off for half of it and you couldn't hear some of it, and the sound was all over the place. But it was one of the rare episodes I haven't listened to twice. I always listen to every episode twice through straight away, finish it, start again. It's like I'm insane, but I do that. Whereas that one, I'll put, so yeah, that's in the bottom 5% of KMS episodes. I've got my imaginary barrel. Well, that's way down the bottom.
It was, and I don't blame Kirk. He's Kirk.
That and the colored.
It was just the colored one. I don't know I think the dentist one was worse than the colored one. But
you know what I was thinking though about Coleman? Like he's going through a complete KMS re-listen. If he does it, like it would be quite a wild ride to just listen through KMS with
like
everything,
to the end.
Yeah, beginning to the end, not obviously waiting for breaks or anything. You can just mow through it over, I don't know how long it would take you, a couple of months, but going through the whole ups and downs and Steve leaving and Cole coming in and Mike's break.
Yeah, it could be good. Like the original KMS was like, it was a wild ride, and it was like must listen. The show I think is it's almost at that peak now, because I think this producer race, and I think it's reinvigorated the show to a sense where it's like it's like almost addicting again, where it's like it's a
Mm.
must listen. It's everything is really must listen. Like you're following along all day. What were you gonna say?
The thing about Blind Mike being number 2 is all I have to say is the show was at its lowest ebb was when Blind Mike took a mental health break and went to blind camp. That was when they produced consistently some of the worst episodes. Not bad, but just, Steve and Kirk trying to, riff with just not the same. So, yeah.
It was a little sad at that time.
Yeah, it was.
I'll
Thanks,
agree with
Ron.
that.
Thanks for backing me up,
Yeah.
buddy.
I got you.
I like Ron. I like Ron is a good guy. I like him.
Hey,
And
thanks.
weren't you saying you were trying to get into studio or something for ages and Cullinane kept giving you the runaround? Was that you?
Yeah, he's black. He's led me on like 4 different times, but whatever. It is what it is.
Because I think he's done that to the 420 guys as well.
Yeah, I'm not really like, it's not like a me thing. Like he doesn't know me, so whatever,
Did you guys
Collinane's
listen
a
to
dummy. I like him though. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Oh,
But how
huge
like
dummy.
do you think you'll go in there? Are you going to keep trying, or have you sort of?
I'd
given
like
up
to,
now?
yeah, but we're in limbo here because Collinane's gonna leave. So then now
Yes.
who do I DM? You know what I know?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true. And they're doing the producer race, so they're not really getting in as many Minifans. Although we had Will and Jason. I mean,
Oh my god.
Oh,
They-
those guys are Spitfires, man.
Those guys, I think, like nice guys, but they were 2 of the worst like Minifan guests or third chairs to come in the show. The guy talking about it, you like
There's
them?
been
I
some
don't
bad
know.
ones. I
don't know.
Well, Kirk makes the best out of everything.
Yeah.
The girlfriend thing was very funny. That poor bastard.
Yeah, and listening back to Will, he was really funny the second time. When you're just laughing at him because the fact that they just cut him off every story when they realized that he just was a gibberer. And
I
I thought
too.
Yeah, and I thought Jason was actually he wasn't like Mr. Personality, but I thought he added stuff when he spoke. Like I thought he was a good dude. Like I don't know if he's made for podcasting, but he's a Minifan I'd like to meet and hang out with. And everyone says his wife is super hot. So obviously that would be good too.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know what? It was a good episode. Like it was better. I think this week, like I don't know. It's tough. It was 3 great episodes. The one in Barcelona is kind of bullshit, but I don't know. The 9/11 episode was really funny at the beginning. Like really, really funny. The Augustus episode was all right. I think the Friday episode was number 2 of the week. My BA weekly rankings. I think the Mick episode actually was number 1.
I agree. Manners, I totally agree with you that Nate episode is totally unlistenable. I would never listen to that garbage again. I love Kirk to death, but oh my god, him just fucking ball washing him was just pathetic.
He falls on the sword right away. Then he's being phony with like, know what, John Rich, you should take the job now. Like he's a phony, and like I think it was tough for Kirk to go about this. We'll wrap it up soon, Manners. The last thing. Barstool Radio. Did you guys watch it? Listen.
Which one?
The one with Kirk.
With Kirk?
Yep,
yeah,
I did. Yeah.
It kind of sucked that it got railroaded by the Mike Babcock stuff because I think it was flowing and then it was done with the Mike Babcock. I wish the Babcock stuff happened separately so we could have had a full Kirk kind of experience on Barstool Radio because I think it was kind of like you only really got half Kirk. So.
And it was funny to see Kirk squirm when he was just like in the middle of that. And, he's got fucking Taylor Lewan talking about like his fake retirement or whatever. And Kirk's just sitting there
that
like,
too.
What the fuck? Get me out of here.
It was kind of, I wish he could have a full Kirk because it would have been nice for Kirk because I like Kirk and Kevin KFC together.
Well, what do you think the big announcement will be on Monday? I spoke about this with Mike Montante last night. Give me your best guess.
I think it's something to do with a barstool kind of initiative or show or something like something he's going to be doing for Barstool, or it could be that the pay-per-view for Sacco is confirmed. That might be it.
Okay, but he alluded to it being something that the new producer will have to deal with. That
Oh,
it's
okay.
something that affect the new producer's job. So I'm thinking, I wonder if KMS is going to start to be broadcast on the main Barstool YouTube channel instead. Because
Oh,
That's
if you
not
that
a
were,
could
bad
be.
guess.
if you were looking to grow the show, and let's forget, and Portnoy, everyone's given Portnoy a fucking free pass here, but he triumphantly, gets back the company, running around saying old Barstool, but clearly he's been asleep at the wheel for the last 2 years because they were losing, 10-15 million dollars a year, and he comes back, and all of a sudden now he's like sacking half the workforce and trying to grow everything. So it's a bit fucked from him, but anyway. So I think now he's really pushing everything, and he's saying to KMS, "This is a great show. It needs to grow. How can we do that? Let's put it on the main channel live," which has, I think it's got a couple of million subscribers probably.
Yeah, and
That's
I
a
think
great guess.
that's actually a great idea, and I think it comes with one of the original Mike and the Minifans. We kind of said that's where they should have a kind of a regular lineup on the Barstool main channel where they can feed into the shows, and then if they have a lineup, and then if it goes longer, you watch on the original YouTube. So I think that'll be cool if they're doing that. So, oh, what is this? Oh,
What up?
wow,
Patrick,
Patrick Ford.
What's up, boys?
All right, but I think
Hello.
Patrick Ford had probably the best top 50 list submitted, fighting with Whitney. I think he had Whitney even higher than he should be, but But Patrick, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can.
okay.
Welcome to the show. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. No, I figured I'd jump on, and I put a lot of time into that top 50 lift. I was going to revise it today because I got blocked by Matt Carano, so I'm going to bump him out of the top 50.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Crano's a loser.
But what do we want to do? You want to run through the candidates, or
Yes. Give us your endorsements. So Patty F, give us
you
your
get-
endorsements.
You'll be our final voice of the
We've got
Minifans.
5 minutes, Patty. So
Patrick Ford.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start at the bottom. The bottom is blatantly Mick. It's tough.
Wow.
It's very, very tough to listen to when Mick is on. The thing I fear, so there is some decent content that comes from it. Like obviously, all his bombastic stuff is kind of funny, but that once that shtick is gone, he's gonna get run out pretty quickly. He obviously doesn't have the thick skin because he's left the world like 3 or 4 times, no matter how many times he said he hasn't. But no, I mean, people would legitimately stop listening. I know people who would not listen anymore. And that's always like the running joke in the show is like, we doesn't care about the listeners. But Kirk said it a couple weeks ago, where now that Dave owns the company, he wants to do well for Dave. So losing listeners because of Mick's not going to do it. So yeah, that's the bottom. Josh, I kind of agree with you guys. He was a nice kid at first. He'd probably be a decent number 2, I guess. But the simple fact alone of him not going back to listen to the show again, not only listening to half of the show and then having no idea what they were talking about after that. I mean, if you're going to be on a podcast, you have to do like if you're on, the Kirk Minahan show, you have to at least listen to the episode that was done prior. And then now it turns into a bit of a toss-up because I like Montante a lot. I don't know who I'd put 1 through 3, to be honest, but he's in the
Good
mix.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Last night I feel like he hurt himself with you. He started off very strong, but then it got pretty bad for you. You have a kind of a tendency to do that. You destroyed Tommy Quinlan, the poor little gay guy, and now you're trying to destroy Montante too. But
I'm not the one that said my savior was going to be Craig Coney.
At
know,
that point, I
was
wanted him to
rough.
put down the red Solo cup at that point and just cool it on whatever he was drinking, because that was the alcohol talking. I'm hoping.
Well, I get what
Montante
I get what he is saying, but it's also like you can't Craig can help in the shadows, but to be Kirk's gonna hate that, and
go to him for help, but don't say it. If you're gonna do it. But he would be, like everybody says, he'd be a really good number 3 chair. But it kind of goes back to, I think the number that Kirk wants to pay for this position, paid Steve $100,000, probably paid Dave, probably 85. So, I mean, the position itself probably doesn't pay anything over $100,000. If you're paying 2 people to do the job, If you're paying each guy 50 grand or one guy 60 grand and one guy 40 grand, you can't live on that in Boston. You just can't. So I just don't know if that's a possibility for him. I'd like for him to go in again and do well, because I do like Montante. I think he's good on the show. But last night you heard him, Menners.
And that moon face was not a good look. I know Menners said it was a good look, but his Mikey Moon face.
I like it. I'm into it. Yeah, he looks young. Man. I think it's good.
Oh,
handsome fellow like yourself.
Kind of scared me. It kind of scared me. In all honesty.
He looked like Ray Romano's brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
So then it's down to Gus or Coleman. 1, 2. What do you got them?
Gus. I liked Gus. I still do like Gus, but I feel like there's a lot going on Twitter right now. A lot. It's just basically anything and everything trying to get the home run. And I think less is more. And I hope he kind of bounces back and he gets back in studio again. But that Rico shit at the airport was tough to watch. That was tough to watch.
There's a lot of me stuff, isn't there, with Augustus? A lot of hand waving and people are going to
But I think he's the only. For me, I think he's the only one of everyone that we listed that could actually take a beating, and including Coleman. I think he's the only one that could probably take the death of Steve Robinson, because if you go through the list, Josh can't, Mick certainly can't, Montante, I think he can, but like you said, BA earlier, he's going to start turning on people. I think he could take the beating. I just don't think he'd like it. I think Augustus is weird enough that he would actually like the beating. And then I think right now, after that last performance with Coleman on, what was it, Friday? Yes. I think he's the lead horse right now, just because he kind of checked every box. But I think he's also so new to the world and so new to the whole Kirk Minahan show. Like, I think he's listened a lot back, but he hasn't listened to all of it, where some of the stuff that Steve, not that Kirk put Steve through, but Steve went through it a little bit. He had like a guy from a foreign country like try to sewer him, and he still bounced back from it, which was good to see. But I you need to see him perform again to determine that he's your number one. But I think right now he's the front runner.
So Patrick Ford has said Coleman is the front runner. Wow, that's a big endorsement. That's a huge endorsement.
Not an endorsement, but it's a thought, because I like all. I'd be happy with
endorsement. You just say it's an endorsement for the fucking show.
Fine,
honestly. We asked you to make endorsements, all right?
It's fair.
Go with the fucking flow, Jesus.
Menners got it. Menners has to chill out. Save that heat for Menners Live. That's going to be coming up in 10-15 minutes, right?
Now, are you rolling right into it from this? Or are you stopping and doing your own show so you can get your own views?
We're stopping.
No, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Stopping doing Manners Live. It will be live in 10 minutes.
So we're cutting this and going to that. Got it.
And taking calls. And BA is doing the comments, and John from Scranton is taking the calls. And we'll also be able to talk about his fledgling campaign.
There's no way that he wants to do it. Like, I think he'd be good at it.
We'll find out. That's a pro tease, Patty. F, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Look at that. Rolling right into the next one.
Yeah, so great. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks,
a great follow on Twitter. A huge fan of the network, getting axed by the axe. But I think you know what, this episode went well. We heard, I think it's a lot. Everyone's up in the air. You had some Coleman, you had some Augustus, you had some Montante support. Pretty much unanimously, everyone hates Josh, which I think is good, because Josh, internet best. But
so thanks to Andrew from You Make Me Sick. Thanks to Ron. Thanks to Dante. Thanks to Patty F for jumping on. Great to meet you guys.
Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and RA Minahan. the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee. It's Mike in the Minifans.